Good evening, everyone. It is 5:05 PM and I call this public meeting to order. I want to thank everyone who is joining us this evening. If you want to make a public comment on the items listed under the closed session agenda, please listen carefully to the directions provided by the clerk at the opening of each item. Sorry, Mrs. Elizondo?
Public hearing for visitors who wish to address the board on closed session items. 15 minutes of this portion of the meeting are reserved for members of the public to address the board on closed session items. Speakers seeking to comment on other items are requested to make those comments during the public comment portion of the meeting at 6:30 PM. Speakers are limited to 3 minutes. The school board is prohibited by law from taking actions on matters discussed that are not on the agenda, and no adverse conclusion should be drawn if the school board does not respond to public comment at this time. If you wish to address the board on an item included in this section of the agenda, please step up to the podium and state your name and city of residence. If you are joining us remotely and would like to make a public comment, click on the reactions icon located at the bottom of your screen. In the reactions window, click on the raise hand button and wait for your name to be called. We will allow speakers from the audience to address the board in the order they approach the podium or appear on our screen. President Salazar, we do not have participants who wish to address the board at this time.
Thank you, Mrs. Elizondo. Seeing none, hearing none, I close public hearing and I adjourn to closed session to discuss items 1A through 1D. The board will reconvene at the conclusion of the closed session. Welcome to tonight's board meeting. I want to welcome the media and everyone joining us in person and via Zoom. We ask those joining us this evening to please silence any electronic devices not linked to this meeting. If you would like to make a public comment, please listen carefully to the directions provided by the clerk at the opening of each public comment period. Superintendent Lyle.
President Salazar, members of the board and public, I'd like to remind us of our vision and our mission. Our vision states that Madera Unified will set the standard for hard work, creativity, and resiliency with a fearless drive to continuously improve. And our mission states that we're committed to creating and sustaining a culture, enabling Madera Unified students to experience an unparalleled educational journey that is intellectually, socially, and personally transformative. That's the nature of our work this evening.
Thank you, Superintendent Lyle. Roll call. Mrs. Elizondo, please call the roll.
Trustee Campos Gutierrez.
Here.
Trustee Castillo. Here. Trustee Ahmad.
Here.
Trustee Cortez.
Here.
Trustee Dybert. Absent. Trustee Fleek.
Here.
Trustee Seibert. He's absent. Clerk Mendoza.
Here.
And President Salazar.
Here. Thank you, Ms. Elizondo. I would like to inform the public that even though Trustee Dybert is absent, she participated in closed session via teleconference in accordance with the Government Code Section 5496B3 at the following location: Avenue 2 de Mayo, Flores, Lima, Peru. Trustee Cortez, can you please lead us in the flag salute?
Yes, everybody, please stand. Ready, salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, the republic.
Thank you, Trustee Cortez. Tonight's scheduled invocation will be provided by Pastor Daniel Martinez of 4th Street Church of Madera. I invite Pastor Martinez to the podium.
Brother, please join me in prayer. Heavenly Father, we thank you for the privilege and the responsibility, Lord, of being able to teach and guide this next generation of children and youth of Madera. Father, I thank you for every member of this board and every representative here. I ask your blessing upon each of their families for the work and dedication they put in to help guide these children. We ask, Father, for vision today, that you would give each and every person in here that's making these decisions the vision to lead our children, Father, into a better future. And Father, we pray for wisdom and direction to help carry that out, Lord. Ask your blessing over this meeting and thank you and pray that your peace would be upon it. In the name of Jesus. Amen.
Thank you, Pastor Martinez. Closed session reportable actions. Superintendent Lyle.
We have no reportable actions this evening.
Thank you, Superintendent Lyle. Adoption of the agenda, Mrs. Elizondo.
Action to add or delete items from any portion of the agenda or to discuss any consent agenda items must be taken prior to the adoption of the agenda.
Superintendent Lyle, does staff have items to add or remove from the agenda?
This evening, we do not, President Salzar.
Thank you, Superintendent Lyle. Trustees, do you have items to add or delete from the agenda? I start with trustee Campos Gutierrez.
No.
Trustee Castillo.
No, thank you.
Trustee Ahmad.
No, thank you.
Trustee Cortez.
No.
Trustee Dybert is absent. Trustee Fleek.
None, thank you.
Clerk Mendoza.
None.
And myself, none. Trustees, do I have a motion and a second to adopt the agenda as presented? Please state your name when you make the motion and second the motion.
Trustee Cortez and I move to adopt the agenda as presented.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Trustee Fleek, I'll second.
Thank you. It has been moved by trustee Cortez and second by trustee Fleek to adopt the agenda as presented. Ms. Elizondo, please pull the board for the record.
Trustee Campos Gutierrez,
Yes.
trustee Castillo,
Yes.
trustee Ahmad,
Yes.
trustee Cortez,
Yes.
trustee Dybert is absent. Trustee Fleek,
Yes.
trustee Seibert is absent. Clerk Mendoza
Yes.
and President Salzar.
Yes.
President Salzar, I counted 7 ayes, 0 nays, 0 abstentions, and 2 absent, and 2 of the votes were preferential.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Elizondo. Communications, student and staff recognition. The Madera Minutes, Superintendent Lyle.
President Salzar, Mendoza, members of the board and public and all of our fans out in Zoom land. Here are some highlights from the last 2 weeks, and there have been some really amazing highlights.
It was a week filled with learning opportunities at Madera Unified. Schools around the district celebrated Red Ribbon Week with various activities such as Pajama Day and Crazy Hair Day. Local legislators also visited schools to help students engage in reading. This week is dedicated to bringing awareness about ways to prevent the use of drugs and violence. Madera Unified held its annual Service with Pride event to recognize staff members who have served the district for 20, 25, 30, and 35 years, as well as retirees. The event celebrated the dedication and commitment of these long-term staff members who have significantly impacted Madera Unified students. During the event, the Madera Linkage Foundation also announced the 2024 recipients of its Student Champion Hall of Fame. The inductees include Judy Roberts, Louis Jagiglian, and Jane Couts. In other things, students around the district enjoyed high school band performances during the district Band Blitz events. The events helped students get excited about one day becoming a coyote, stallion, or toro. The 3 high school bands in Color Guard also performed at Stallion Stadium during a special band night event. The bands performed alongside musicians from their feeder schools, and the high schools showcased their award-winning competition field shows. And congratulations to the champions and runner-ups of the 2024-2025 Madera Unified League of Elementary Schools basketball season. Dozens of students participated in the yearly tournament. Furman students are preparing for the future. The school organized a college and career fair where students spoke to local college representatives and had networking opportunities. And it was a spectacular Halloween at Madera Unified. Several different events set the tone as students had the opportunity to participate in parades and trunk or treat.
Thank you. Item number 6B, public hearing for visitors who wish to speak on a subject not on the board agenda. Ms. Elizondo.
Sorry. 15 minutes of this portion of the meeting are reserved for members of the public to address the board on items not listed on the agenda and within the jurisdiction of the school board. Speakers are limited to 3 minutes. If the subject is an item on the agenda, the board president has the option of asking the speaker to hold the comment until that item is called. Comments on items listed as a public hearing on the agenda should be held until the hearing is opened. The school board is prohibited by law from taking actions on matters discussed that are not on the agenda, and no adverse conclusion should be drawn if the school board does not respond to public comment at this time. If you wish to address the board on an item not on the board agenda, please step up to the podium and state your name and city of residence. If you are joining remotely and would like to make public comment, click on the reactions icon located at the bottom of your screen. In the reactions window, click on the raise hand button and wait for your name to be called. Speakers will be allowed to address the board in the order they approach the podium or appear on our screen. If you would mind, would you press the button on the microphone, please?
State your name and your address, please. Thank you.
My name is Christopher Brown. I live in Coarsegold, California. My two children go to our juniors at Madera South High School. They play water polo and they both swim as well. There was an incident where Madera South played Madera High a few weeks back. One of the Madera High players held on to the tie of one of the players from Madera South and was holding him underwater. Our player reacted badly. It took a swing at the player to stop them from drowning them. And as a result, our player got season basically ended. They suspended him for the last 3 games, which is CIF's rule. And honestly, if you take a swing at a player, that seems like a perfectly reasonable, although the situation was not reasonable. When I was talking to my son about it later, he said that in his 3 years of playing, Madera High has the worst reputation as far as playing dirty. He looked forward to playing them the least of any of our players, of any of the teams he's played in 3 seasons of tournaments and games and stuff like that. It was very distressing to hear that Madera High had that reputation, at least as far as my son was concerned. I just thought you guys should know. It had bothered me. It was on my heart for quite a while. And I thought it was important to bring that to the board's attention. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing.
We have Michael Magos online. Mr. Magos, are you able to speak now?
Mr. Magos, can you hear us?
Mr. Magos, you may speak. You are not muted at the moment. Mr. Magos, are you able to hear us? Yes, you're nodding. So are you able to communicate? Use your speaker. I believe he's having problems connecting his microphone. He's able to hear us, but we don't hear him. Did you want to type something in the chat? You can type it directly to me, Maria Elizondo, if you want me to read something, or
Yeah, he could send it in writing. We're gonna move on.
Mr. Magos, did you hear President Salzar's comment? You can submit it in writing and we're going to continue with the meeting.
Thank you, Ms. Elizondo. Seeing no one else come forward, I close the public hearing. Student Board Representative Report, Mrs. Burrow of Madera South High School and Leila Webster of Torres High. I invite Mrs. Burrow to present the Madera South High School Student Board Representative Report.
Good evening, Board President Salazar, Board Clerk Mendoza, trustees and Superintendent Lyle. I am Carmen DeBurrow and I'm the student representative of Madera South High School. So at Madera South High School, we have had different senior nights for all of our sports, and we wanted to honor all of our seniors and all the years that they've dedicated to their sports. So we've had flag football since they've been the start of the season, and this is their first year ever doing flag football. And they've made history, wanting to make sure that all the seniors felt special and were congratulated on making history. We also had cheer and dance senior night. We all had our performances during halftime, and it was a really fun moment for all of us to connect with our teammates. Football also had their senior night, and tennis and volleyball. I know that all of them had lots of fun, and they just couldn't express the senior nights without lots of happiness and the sadness of leaving their friends behind that are underclassmen, but overall, it was a really nice experience. So something new that we've done is we've had card camps. So this is where all the athletes, help these little kids do our sports for about, I know for cheer, we did every Sunday or every Saturday for 3 weeks. So for flag football, I was able to go because of my little brothers, and I seen them running around, and they were all like, oh, you get the ball, you get to play offense, you get to play defense, you get to do this. And they were just really interactive with the kids. And then with cheer and dance, with me being there as well, we were going over different techniques and seeing all the kids be really happy and just, oh, I can do it, I can do it. And it was just a way of them to get a lot of self-belief and a lot of self-confidence in themselves with doing new things. And it was great because I seen a lot of them come from flag football to cheer to basketball to all these other places. And the only photos I could get were from flag football and cheer and dance, but I know a lot of other sports had them and I couldn't hear anything but great things about them. The Rodeo Bowl Showdown was really fun. I know that a lot of us were not ready for us to say goodbye because this was our last season for seniors at least. And I know even though senior night was the game prior, it was still very emotional for a lot of us because it was our last game with our teammates. For me, my stunt group is all seniors except for our back spots, so we're leaving our little baby behind. And I know football was really excited. They were able to take home the win and take home the trophy, which they were super excited about, which I don't think varsity has ever done before. So I think it was really rewarding for them. Homecoming was really fun. Homecoming week, if anyone knows, homecoming week while being involved is very stressful for a lot of us because there's so much going on. You're so excited and it's just, you're bouncing around with different things. So we had our homecoming parade and that was really fun. We had all the clubs come out there, class of 2025, all of the classes actually. We had art club, we had the Hispanic club, and then we also had our big halftime and game in general. We also had one of our cheerleaders win homecoming queen, and she was still cheering in her big red dress with her crown, and she was living it up. It was so much fun. And overall, homecoming, this is one of the best years of homecoming that I've experienced. Ag Nationals, I've heard so much about. I wish I was an ag. I love all the Aggies, they're so sweet. And I know that we had one of our students placed in top 4 over the country. And I can't remember his name, but I remember that it was just a really exciting and surreal moment for him because out of all the country, he made 4th, and that was really, really well for our school and just in general for Madera. It's getting our name out there since we are such a small town. It makes us stand out. And it's even though we are a small town, we hold such great components. College application week. So something that I've been so grateful for at our school is college application week, because I know it's stressful because it's oh my gosh, what college am I going to? What am I going to major in? What's my life going to be like? But overall, with the counselors and with all these different people helping us with the applications, I know a lot of people were able to apply that same day starting their applications, and they were just zooming through it and all the counselors were like, you can do this, we have your back. Like it was just very supportive throughout the entire process. And even those who didn't know what they were doing yet, they're like, oh, I don't know what I want to go into. Like there was counselors sitting with them, be like, it's okay. Like let's talk about your top options. Let's talk about what top schools you have. And it was overall just really supportive, and it was really like kind environment. Boo Fest was so much fun. I went to the Jogathon for Alpha prior to this. So I went from the Jogathon straight to Alpha, straight to Madera South for the Boo Fest. So it was just like a little carnival rally, if you will, for the kids. So I know this class, for this grade, my little brothers were actually there as well, and they were just bouncing around from different place to different place, and they were just so excited and saying this is so much fun, and they loved it. And after going from Alpha originally for the Jogathon to this, you can just see all the kids so excited to be involved, and all the actual like all the clubs and everything being really involved. I know I seen art club there with their own big posters and everything, and it was just very inclusive for the kids, and it was really good to get in connection with our youth. The Old Timers Parade, it was honestly a lot of fun. It was way better than last year's. Last year's it was raining. All of us cheerleaders were upset because our mascara was on our eyes. It was everywhere. It was stressful last year, but this year was a great way to end it, at least for me as a senior. I was really happy that the sun was shining, and everyone was happy, and then just us hanging out afterwards. And then this year we also got to do an actual performance on their new stage. And then we also did a unity dance where all the seniors were in the front living it up. Like it was really inclusive at the end with the new performance. I think it was such a great idea. And overall, it was really, really fun. An act of kindness on campus. So this is something that I was not expecting. I had someone come up to me and say, oh my gosh, you need to hear this. And it was really touching, honestly. So this here is one of our officers at campus, and he seen one of the students playing with their guitar, and it got knocked over by another student, and the student was heartbroken because it was a guitar from his dad. And when he seen that it had broken from the student who dropped it, it was just a very emotional and sad experience for the student. And then the officer seen, and it touched him in his heart, and he drove all the way home. He's like, hold on, I'll be right back. So he drove all the way home. He brought his own personal guitar to the student and was like, you keep it, like you deserve it. Like I know that it was a sad moment for you, but don't worry, I hope this makes your day better. And it was just showing how much love and appreciation for everyone that is on our campus. So it's like, even though we're not really close friends, even though I don't really know you and your backstory, I see the struggles that you're going through, and here's something that I think could help you. And this just really shows the like community within our school. And then here are our upcoming events. I hope I'm back soon to come tell you all about it.
Thank you very much for sharing, Ms. Merrill. Thank you. And I'll invite Angelica Castillo Madera. Oh, Leila Webster, I'm sorry. And now I invite Leila Webster, present for Torres High School Student Board Representative Report.
Good evening, Madera Unified School District Board President Salazar, Clerk Mendoza, Superintendent Lyle, and members of the board. I'm Layla Webster here with the Toro Report. Next slide, please. Our 2024 homecoming, a marvelous homecoming, was definitely one to remember. This year, we celebrated the start of our 5th year as the Toros. Our celebration consisted of our annual homecoming community carnival, rally, and dance, as well as the introduction of our first annual homecoming parade. Next slide, please. Although we did not win the game, it was still one to remember. During our pregame ceremony, we had the pleasure of honoring David Hicks of Cal Valley Printing and Madera Trophy as our 2024 Grand Marshal. We also continued our tradition of honoring Little Toro royalty during our pregame celebration. The Little Toro royalty are future Toros that are going above and beyond in academics, extracurriculars, and really living out positive character on their respective campuses. Students that are truly representative of what it means to be a future Toro. We were able to honor students from all 6 of our Red Pyramid feeder schools. During halftime, we crowned our 2024 homecoming royalty, Senior Amani Sua and Capri Adams. They both embody the resilience, passion, and hard work that is representative of what it means to be a Toro. We followed that up with our annual homecoming skit competition, where the senior class was once again victorious with their Spider-Man themed entry. Next slide, please. We always have a fun time celebrating Halloween at Torres. This year, we hosted our annual haunted house as well as our Halloween movie night to get students in the Halloween spirit. We also hosted our annual Halloween costume contest with a special category for department Halloween costumes. This year, our PE department was victorious with their Foot Locker employee costume. We also have to give an honorable mention to the World Languages department that dressed up as Loteria cards. Next slide, please. This year, in celebration of Dia de los Muertos, our World Languages Department set up our annual world school-wide ofrenda on our quad stage. Throughout the day, both staff and students added photos in remembrance of their loved ones. Additionally, world language students added different Dia de los Muertos themed projects to display to show off what they had been learning leading up to the event. Next slide, please. Torres Marching Band and Color Guard always keep us amazed with show-stopping performances. Their 2024 field show, A New Dawn, is no exception. They have been seeing much success on the competition circuit this year, securing second place in the 3A division, as well as caption award in percussion and overall effect in their first competition of the season. They saw the same success at the Golden State Tournament of Bands, where they secured second place in the 3A division, as well as the High Effect Caption Award. They even took first place in the overall band category at this year's Old Timers Parade. We love our Torres Band and Card. Our HOSA program has been busy the past few months hosting community service projects, leading regional workshops, and hosting activities to improve campus culture. On October 11th, HOSA hosted our first blood drive of the school year, collecting 47 units of blood for the Central Valley Blood Bank. On November 2nd, 18 HOSA students attended the Region 3 Fall Leadership Conference at Dinuba High School, where members of our chapter had the opportunity to host 2 workshops. Just last week, our HOSA chapter hosted its first annual National HOSA Week, where HOSA students had the opportunity to participate in dress-up days and lunchtime activities relating to mental health, HOSA National Service Project, National Marrow Donor Program, building positivity on our campus, blood drives, and community service. Next slide, please. Torres Theater Company presented their first show of the season, Dracula, during the Halloween weekend. The show was a great success despite a few bumps in the road along the way. The dedication of our theater staff and students is amazing to see. They are gearing up for their spring show, SpongeBob the Musical, which will take the stage in January. Next slide, please. This year brought the return of our annual Rodeo Bowl staff kickball game versus the Stallions at Madera South. Our tour staff were victorious, beating the Stallions for the 3rd consecutive year. It is always fun to see our staff have the opportunity to show their school pride and participate in a friendly competition. Sometimes it's not so friendly. This weekend was all about Madtown Robotics at Torres. Our championship robotics team hosted their annual Madtown Throwdown competition, welcoming 30 teams and 48 robots from all over California for a weekend of competition as they gear up for their spring season. The Blue Alliance, consisting of our very own Madtown 1323 robotics team, took home first place, beating out the competition. Next slide. Just yesterday, members of our ASB leadership class volunteered with the VFW hanging flags at the Courthouse Park. We love having the opportunity to interact with the veterans in our community and lending a helping hand whenever we can. We look forward to continuing to partner up with our local VFW on future community service projects. Next slide, please. Fall sports are nearing their end, and our tour athletes have had an amazing season. Our girls water polo did amazing this year, facing challenges every week throughout the season due to our low numbers. Excuse me. Our girls managed to come out as #1 in our league with a 9-1 record, securing their very first NYL championship. Our girls volleyball also had a fantastic season, ending the year with a 9-1 record in league play, securing an NYL co-championship. The Torres girls tennis team also had an outstanding season, achieving an impressive overall record of 16-1. Please. Our Torres boys cross country team has become one of the best teams in the United States and is ranked in the top 5 teams in California overall this year, combined with all the divisions in the CIF. The boys are back-to-back CIF Valley Championships, seeking to repeat as champions again this year. At the Rough Rider Invitational, hosted at Woodward Park, the Torres cross country program broke the all-time Central Section record as a team. This means that they hold the fastest team time ever recorded at Woodward Park from the Central Section. We are incredibly proud of our Toro athletics programs. Next slide, please. And here are upcoming events. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Webster. And now I invite Camelia Campos Gutierrez of Alternative Education and Angelica Castillo of Madera High School. Trustee Campos Gutierrez, I invite you to share your report with the board.
Good evening to you all. As for Furman, these last few days of October have been quite eventful, hosting our senior sunrise. We served breakfast for seniors and piping hot cocoa. Seniors enjoyed pumpkin painting, card games, and socializing with other classmates. The same day, leadership hosted a fall carnival for students. The idea was to get more students to socialize with each other in hopes of practicing community bonding. We had games such as musical chairs, ring toss, and face paint. Students participated when they realized that candy and glow sticks were prizes. Revealing kids could be bribed with candy and gimmicks at any age, to be honest. And as Furman students enter the month of November, Furman students have been feeling generous in the spirit of Thanksgiving and Christmas coming up. They have projects lined up such as a blood drive and clothing donations for the Holy Family Table. Moving on to Mount Vista. Mount Vista students finished up their 4th term of the school year. Their students are busy earning credits and working hard in classrooms. On Friday, November 14, students will be taking part of the Ruby Bridges Walk to school with Millview. Together, the two schools will walk down the Clinton Street, and after the walk, the Panther students will spend time reading books to the little kids at Millview. And then as for Ripperden, Ripperden's leadership team recently met to discuss the potential of having more areas around the campus for students to sit and socialize. And they came up with an idea of looking into concrete benches in shade areas. Their students would like to see more electives at the school and are looking ways into having more sports events. Ripperden students love the field trips they take, but they would like to see more site student activities similar to Spirit Week. They're brainstorming ideas to make that happen. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Ms. Gutierrez. Now I invite Angelica Castillo of Madera High.
Good evening, fellow trustees, Superintendent Lyle, President Salazar, Clerk Mendoza, and members of the audience. I'm pleased to share the highlights of Madera High School's activities and initiatives from October. October was active with club-led fundraisers and events. Many clubs, such as Link Crew, Block M, and CSF, organized gram sales, allowing students to send notes of positivity paired with small treats. These grams have helped boost morale and foster appreciation across campus. Students have also been engaging with the Minga app, which supports campus management. Through Minga, students earn points for positive behaviors, which they can redeem for rewards like snacks, notebooks, and even golf cart rides around campus. This month, students enjoyed a special Minga point exchange for hot noodle soup, a treat especially popular during the colder weather. Last week, Madera High School hosted the Semester 1 Student Voice Meeting, gathering representatives from clubs and organizations, along with key faculty and administration. Topics discussed included metal detector policies, phone policies, and the Graduate Profile Project. I'd also like to mention that our Coyote Productions Drama Department is performing the play 12th Night. Opening night is this Thursday, November 14th at 7 p.m. They'll be showing this Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, as well as next week on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Tickets are $10, and tickets help fund our drama department's competition fees. Coyote Productions would appreciate your support. In closing, while some new initiatives have posed challenges, we see growing understanding and adaptation among students, especially with clear communication. Madera High appreciates being part of a district that values and acts on its students' input. Thank you for listening. Have a wonderful rest of your evening.
Thank you, Ms. Castillo. Now we move on to item number 9, consent agenda. Mrs. Elizondo.
Items listed under the consent agenda are considered to be routine and are acted on by the Board of Trustees in one motion. There is no discussion of these items prior to the board vote unless a member of the board or staff requests specific items be considered and discussed separately and or removed from the consent agenda prior to the adoption of the agenda. It is understood that the administration recommends approval on all consent items. Each item on the consent agenda approved by the Board of Trustees shall be deemed to have been considered in full and adopted as recommended.
Thank you. I now open the consent agenda for public comment. Mrs. Elizondo.
If you wish to address the board on an item included in the consent agenda, please step up to the podium and state your name and city of residence. If you are joining remotely and would like to make a public comment, click on the reactions icon located at the bottom of your screen. In the reactions window, click on the raise hand button and wait for your name to be called. Speakers will be allowed to address the board in the order they approach the podium or appear on our screen. President Salazar, we do not have participants who wish to address the board at this time.
Thank you, Ms. Elizondo. Seeing no one come forward, I close public comment. I now entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda. State your name when making the motion and when you second the motion. Trustees?
Trustee Cortez, and I move to approve the consent agenda.
Thank you. Have a second?
Ahmad, second.
Thank you. It has been moved by trustee Cortez and second by trustee Ahmad to approve the consent agenda. There are 2 resolutions in the consent agenda. Mrs. Elizondo, I'm sorry, please pull the board for the record.
Trustee Campos Gutierrez,
Yeah.
trustee Castillo,
Yes.
trustee Ahmad,
Yes.
trustee Cortez, trustee Dybert is absent, trustee Fleek,
Yes.
trustee Seibert is absent, clerk Mendoza,
Yes.
and President Salazar.
Yes.
President Salazar, I counted 7 ayes, 0 nays, 0 abstentions, and 2 absent. 2 of the votes were preferential.
Thank you, Mrs. Elizondo. At this time, I would like to take the opportunity to thank and acknowledge the following retirees of the service, not only to Madera Unified, but to their service and commitment to Madera community. Norma Martinez, Senior Executive Assistant to the Superintendent and Board of Trustees, will retire on December 2nd, 2024, after 37 years of service. Elizabeth Mares, paraprofessional, aide at Nishimoto Elementary, will retire on December 20th, 2024, after 29 years of service. If you see these ladies, please thank them. Moving on to item number 10, information and reports. Item number 10A1, Superintendent present the 2024 Williams Annual Report by Jim Sargent of the Madera County Superintendent of Schools. At this time, I invite Mr. Sargent of Madera County Superintendent of Schools to address the board. Mr. Sargent.
Or designee, the pinch hitter.
Good
The
evening,
pinch
Madera.
hitter's here.
Yeah, good evening, Madera Unified Board of Trustees. Superintendent Lyle, President Salazar. Tonight, the role of Jim Sargent will be played by Kirk Delmas, Director of District Support and Improvement for Madera County Superintendent of Schools. And on behalf of Dr. Cecilia Massetti, I would like to present the Williams findings for Madera Unified for the 24-25 school year. I'd first like to say that the administrators, the staff, the teaching staff, the certificated staff, the facility staffs at all the schools that we visited were outstanding, very accommodating, very professional, and very responsive to everything. Williams was enacted in 2004, and the site visitations, I always pretend I can see it and then I have to put my glasses on. Site visitations require verification of sufficient number of textbooks and instructional materials, the adequacy, health, and safety of school facilities, appropriate posting of uniform complaint procedures, and review of the school accountability report card, also known as the SARC, and review of teacher credentialing. The findings of the required visitations are to be reported to the governing boards of those school districts. And for Madera Unified, the sites that were visited were Alpha Elementary, Dwayne E. Furman Independent Study, Thomas Jefferson Middle School, Martin Luther King Jr. Middle School, and Parkwood Elementary. Um, The five areas that we just talked about, the first one we'll discuss is the access and sufficiency of instructional materials. And all the sites were sufficient in their instructional materials, and there were no findings in those areas. The next section is the required posting of uniform complaint procedures, and there were no findings in any of those areas at the five sites that we visited. Verification of data and school accountability report cards, also known as the SARC. The review of the SARC revealed for all the schools that we visited was up to date and current, and there was no findings there. Facilities review, based on the facilities inspection tool developed by OPSC, which is the Office of Public School Construction. The FIT report is generally recognized as the tool that most schools use for accountability for their facilities. And certification was received verifying that corrective action was taken on any of the findings at Alpha, Furman, Thomas Jefferson, Martin Luther King Jr., and Parkwood Elementary. So there were no findings that went on the report. And then the teacher vacancy assignment and credentialing. Alpha Elementary has 20 self-contained classrooms, and 100% of those teachers hold appropriate English learner authorizations, and there were no misassignments, no vacancies. At Furman, 87 classrooms, no teacher misassignments, no vacancies. 100% of the teachers in those classes hold the appropriate English learner authorization. At Thomas Jefferson, there were no teacher misassignments, 3 vacant positions. 99% of the teachers hold their English learner authorization. At Martin Luther King, there were no teacher misassignments, 2 vacant positions, and 100% of the teachers, those hold the appropriate English learner authorization. And at Parkwood, there were classroom teachers included the following. Review of the teachers assigned at Parkwood revealed no teacher misassignments, 1 vacancy, and 100% of the teachers held their authorization. So, and that concludes the report. There were, again, very, very well done by your staffs at the respective schools. And that concludes the report. Thank you.
Thank you. Now I move on to item 10B, union time. At this time, I invite the presidents of the unions to address the board. Mr. Holder? Okay, thank you, Mr. Holder. Any other union presidents?
No, President Salzer.
Thank you, Ms. Elizondo. Superintendent time.
President Salzer, Kirk Mendoza, members of the board, I want to provide just a few items here, and I want to say thank you to, we'll start first with our 2024 Hall of Fame and Service with Pride Awards that were held on October 24th at the Manor Estate out on Avenue 9. And the Linkage Foundation partnered with us this year, and we really appreciate the combined opportunity to celebrate all the people who've made Madera Unified a really great place to be. And we'd like to thank the Madera High School Jazz Band and the Mariachi Honor Juvenil, which translates roughly to the Honor Mariachi Band for middle school, and the committee that put it on. The musical performances were outstanding, and the whole event was really elegant and something to be proud of. So thank you to the trustees for coming out and honoring the event. I'd also like to thank Assemblywoman Esmeralda Soria, who came to Nishimoto Elementary School on October 30th for Red Ribbon Week. And the kids got a chance to meet someone at her level and find out that her life story isn't so different than theirs. We really appreciate her making the time to come and interact with our students. I'd like to thank the Madera South High School, the Madera South High School staff for hosting the first Madera Unified Dia de los Muertos Mariachi concert on November 4th. It was one of the first events of its kind that I have ever seen. It is the first event of its kind in district's history, but it's also one of the first times that I've ever seen parents stay the entire time and not get up and leave when their kids are done performing. It was an amazing opportunity to feel a real cultural celebration and to see how far we've come in just a few years. I also want to thank the Madera South High School staff for hosting our first ever band night on November 7th. And it was an amazing opportunity to see all 3 field shows. We get to see that every year if we get a chance to go out, and it's usually a Thursday evening. It was really a fantastic display. We got to see some really innovative performances, and we also got a chance to hear our middle schools play with our high schools. And it was the best display of marching band and music last week that I have seen in all my years in Madera Unified. And that goes all the way back to when my parents would drag me back in the 80s to everything that the band did. So this was really, really impressive. And I want to thank our teachers, our techs, and our coaches who've inspired such a high level of performance. I'd also like to thank the Torres staff for hosting the Madtown Robotics Throwdown on the 9th and the 10th over at Torres High School. For any of us who have hosted that event, and there are several of us in the room when we hosted it at Madera South High School, we know that it is a tremendously disruptive and really complicated event to host. And Torres couldn't be a better place to do it. So I want to thank them for that extra work. And I also want to thank all the veterans that we honored yesterday with our day off. It was more than a day off. It was the 105th celebration of the end of World War I. And we celebrate our veterans. The Allies call it Armistice Day. We call it Veterans Day. And we celebrated all across the Western world on that very same day. When I first started teaching, this gives you a little frame of reference. When I first started teaching, there were a lot of World War I vets. So there was a good handful of them still alive. And that's 100 on the 105th anniversary. That's not true anymore. So it's really a fantastic opportunity for us to remember all the blessings that we've received through their sacrifice. So thank you.
Thank you, Superintendent Lyle. And now we move on to item number 12A, new business. Public hearing pursuant to the provisions of the Education Code sections 47605 and 47607 and 47607.2. A public hearing will be conducted on the charter renewal petition submitted to the district by Sherman Thomas Charter School. The board may ask questions of the district administration and other speakers. Public hearing, no action will be taken at the public hearing. It is 7:33 p.m. and I open this for public hearing. Ms. Elizondo.
If you wish to address the board regarding this item, please step up to the podium and state your name and city of residence. If you are joining remotely and would like to make a public comment, click on the reactions icon located at the bottom of your screen. In the reactions window, click on the raise hand button and wait for your name to be called. Speakers will be allowed to address the board in the order they approach the podium or appear on our screen.
Hi, my name is Priscilla Ramirez and I live within the city limits.
Your name and your address, please.
My full address?
Or just like
Resident of Madera.
resident of Madera.
Yes,
Yeah, okay. Okay.
Off now, sorry. Resident of Madera. Okay. Sorry, let me open this up. My name is Priscilla Ramirez, and I am proud to share that I am a product of Sherman Thomas Charter School. I started at Sherman Thomas in 6th grade, the very first year it opened. As a 12-year-old, I quickly recognized the class size was much smaller than traditional public school, and the one-on-one teaching experience was far greater than any other experience I'd had. This teaching style allowed staff to interact with my classmates and I on a level that truly challenged our educational and personal growth. Teachers were able to identify, encourage, and enhance the strengths of each student while also improving weaknesses and encouraging us to attain our greatest potential. Through values and principles, I learned the true meaning of patriotism and is the reason I joined the United States Navy. Through encouragement and words of perseverance, I recognized no obstacle was unattainable and is the reason I pursued a higher education, earning a bachelor's degree in criminal justice and a master's degree in business management. Through guidance and excellence, I learned the value in leadership and is the reason I chose a career in law enforcement. Through love and compassion, I recognize Sherman Thomas Charter School offers more than just a quality and excellent education, and is the very reason my husband and I chose Sherman Thomas Charter School for our children. From the school culture and values to the teachers and staff, Sherman Thomas Charter School has truly shaped who I am today, as well as established the very foundation of my successes. Through its unique learning experience, small class sizes, and above standard curriculum, it is the reason why I will always advocate for Sherman Thomas Charter School. My children consider Sherman Thomas Charter School their second home, a place where they've created valuable relationships and where they'll always be cared for and loved, even after they've left the school grounds and entered their adulthood. For that, I will eternally be grateful for Sherman Thomas Charter School and all it has to offer.
Thank you.
Your name.
My name's Camila. I like my school because we do tests and because we go outside to go play and because we have friends and I have a nice teacher. That's why I like my school. I think other kids would like my school because we have a patriotic concert and because a fun art teacher.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Jorge Franco. I come from Ivanhoe, California. Bonus points if you all know where that's from. It's about an hour away. But I come on behalf of, speak on behalf of Sherman Thomas. Honorable board members, my name is Jorge Franco, as mentioned. I am the Director of Local Advocacy for the California Charter Schools Association, or also known as CCSA, a statewide nonprofit dedicated to ensuring all students have access to high-quality public education. CCSA supports schools that demonstrate the ability to operate successfully, and Sherman Thomas Charter School is a prime example. It is well prepared to continue serving the Madera community with a unique, high-quality education model. As a CCSA partner, Sherman Thomas has access to our renewal support and resources to ensure the compliance with renewal standards. We have also worked closely with the school to help them understand their performance data and ensure a successful next term. CCSA firmly believes Sherman Thomas meets all the legal requirements for renewal as a middle track program. We greatly appreciate the hard work of this board and understand that decisions are not always easy. However, in all of your deliberations, the interest of students and families should remain at the forefront. I do want to add a personal note. I've been on campus multiple times, and every time I go, my favorite thing is seeing the students. There's two students, the ones that are distracted when I walk into the class and the ones that are mad at the people distracted or the kids distracted that I walk in. And both those things tell me one thing altogether is that it's just a place for students to authentically be themselves. That's the one thing I capture. I did want to mention that as a personal note, just authentically be themselves and authentically be there to learn, at their, whatever that may be for them, right? And for me, that resonates a lot with me because I was one of those students that would get distracted when people walk in. But I knew if I was in a safe place, I can definitely learn. And that's definitely the vibe that Sherman Thomas gave me, the vibes that it gives me as I walk in every time that I visit. In conclusion, Sherman Thomas is qualified to continue providing an exceptional education to Madera students. I urge the board to approve the renewal to benefit the school and its community. Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Julia Nichols and I'm from Kingsburg. I am the current 8th grade teacher at Sherman Thomas Charter School. Good evening, members of the board and esteemed committee. Thank you for allowing me the opportunity to speak tonight regarding the renewal of our charter. As I stand before you, I am filled with gratitude for the experience I had as a student in this school and unwavering belief in the mission that we share. This school is not just an educational institution, it is a vibrant family. From my first day in 7th grade, I was welcomed into an environment that celebrated individuality and fostered a sense of belonging. The connections I built here with my teachers, peers, and the broader community have profoundly shaped who I am today. Our commitment to nurturing lifelong learners is at the heart of everything we do. The principal has guided us to cultivate curiosity, resilience, and a passion for knowledge that extends well beyond the classroom. I experienced firsthand how our dedicated educators went above and beyond to inspire us, to challenge us, and to support us through every obstacle. They didn't just teach, they mentored, encouraged, and believed in us. Now, as I step into my role as educator myself, I have driven to give back to this community the same way I was supported. I want to create a classroom that feels like a safe haven, a place where my students can explore their interests, ask questions, and grow into confident, capable individuals. I want them to feel the same sense of belonging that I felt knowing that they are a part of a family that believes in their potential. Renewing our charter is crucial for continuing this legacy to support and grow. This school is a cornerstone of our community, providing a nurturing environment where students can thrive academically, socially, and emotionally. Closing our doors would mean losing a vital source, a place where dreams are nurtured, friendships are formed, and futures are built. By renewing our charter, we are affirming our commitment to education that transcends traditional boundaries. We are investing in the future of our students, ensuring that we have access to the tools and support they need to succeed. We are reinforcing the idea of learning is a lifelong journey, one that requires a strong foundation and a caring community. I urge you to consider the countless lives that have been impacted by this school, the students who have discovered their passions, the families who have found a supportive network, and the community that has grown stronger because of our collective efforts. Let us work together to ensure that this charter is renewed, allowing us to continue our mission of fostering lifelong learners, preparing our students for the world ahead. Thank you for your time, your consideration, and for believing in our potential of our students and our school family. Thank you.
Thank you.
Tasha Manfredi Garlick. I'm a resident of Madera. Good evening, President Salazar, Clerk Mendoza, members of the board, and Superintendent Lyle. As a lifelong resident of Madera and the board chair of Sherman Thomas Charter Schools, I respectively petition for a 5-year renewal of our charter. My relationship began with the school in 2013 when my husband Bill and I looked to enroll our twins in kindergarten. We sought a place that offered high-quality education and dedicated teachers who could provide our children with a strong education, or who could provide our children with a strong academic and social foundation. We wanted an intimate environment where families were encouraged to participate and form partnership with their school. I am incredibly grateful that STCS was available and that our community supports school choice. Because of the school's vision, today, all 3 of my children have a love for learning and a solid foundation, thriving as juniors and a sophomore at Matilda Torres High School. I remain committed to serving this school and our organization because I believe it is a beacon in our community, offering quality academics and social enrichment. I want other families to experience the same benefits and opportunities that my family has had the fortunate to receive. I want them to have a choice. I strongly encourage you to renew our charter for the period of time requested so we can continue our mission and serve our students in our school. On behalf of our board, I appreciate your partnership greatly, and thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Cindy Dolph. I'm a resident of Madera. And I'm also a Sherman Thomas Charter School grandma and a board member, and I'm a retired educator. 48 years ago, this coming January, I was hired by Madera Unified School District right out of college to teach first grade at Washington Elementary School. I did not know a single person in Madera. Teaching jobs were hard to find in those days. But I came to Madera. I never intended to stay, but here I am, a husband, a family, grandchildren, friends, and a resume of multiple roles and positions in Madera Unified School District and Madera County Superintendent of Schools. So I guess I'm here to stay. And that is what I hope for Sherman Thomas Charter School. That with your permission, that they are here to stay, and that they will continue to serve children and families in Madera with an alternative school experience, like it has for so many years. Thank you for being our chartering agency. Thank you for being in this partnership with us. Thank you for your faith in us, and thank you for your support along the way. We hope it continues for many more years to come. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Danielle Oliphant. I'm actually a resident of Madera, all the way up in North Fork. I have the privilege of serving as Sherman Thomas Charter School's principal this year. Last year marked the beginning of a very exciting chapter for our school as I embarked on my new journey as an administrator at the school. When I accepted this role, I was inspired by the opportunity to make a meaningful impact in a school with unique challenges and incredible potential. Over the past year, I focused on building strong relationships and fostering a positive school culture. I've immersed myself in getting to know my fantastic staff, my students, and my families. Whether engaging with my students in the playground, in the cafeteria, or in their classrooms, I have made them a priority by finding out what are their dreams and their aspirations. I speak with parents during drop-off and pickup, and I find out through surveys what it is that our school and our community needs the most. Through these efforts, I've begun to see a remarkable transformation in our school culture with more positive interactions and a shared commitment to excellence. This year, our focus has been on achieving rigorous academics. In September, my dedicated staff and I went and began to implement PLCs, professional learning communities, where teachers meet regularly to evaluate student progress, analyze data, and share best practices. Together, we are deepening our understanding of the essential standards, effective teaching strategies, and the power of common formative assessments. Additionally, we have launched a targeted intervention program where every student's individual needs are being met. Through the progress that we've made in just 1 year has been inspiring, and I am confident that with our continued efforts, Sherman Thomas Charter School will continue to grow and achieve even greater success. Today, this is not on my thing. Today, I had 3 meetings, and I have to share this because it's powerful to me. This morning, I started at 8:15 with an LPAC reclassification meeting. Then I moved into a meeting with a parent and a teacher and our school counselor to see what kind of services we could provide to a young man who is struggling. And then I wrapped up the day with a 504 meeting where we realized that the student has far exceeded all expectations that we ever could have even dreamed. And now he's going to embark into high school. The reality is that these students need us and we need them. So I hope that you take that into consideration, and I thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
My name is Charles Rigby. I too am a resident of the city of Madera. Thank you so much for allowing us this opportunity to speak. I'd like to say thank you to Madam President Salazar, Clerk Mendoza, Superintendent Lyle, trustees, again, for your continued support of School of Choice. When my wife and I were making the decision as to where to send our children to school, we didn't plan the first year being on a computer. And that was difficult, to say the least. But the community at Sherman Thomas was incredible. And it's a community that I've watched grow from its beginning stages, serving as youth pastor at Valley West Christian Center, the campus on which Sherman Thomas began. I've watched it grow over 20 years, and now I have the opportunity to serve as a board member on the school board, but more importantly, as a father to 2 boys that are attending Sherman Thomas Charter at this very moment. I am grateful for the hardworking staff that we have, for the administration that come daily, and as you've heard, drive for miles to be a part of something that we feel is very special. The culture that has been developed there is something that you've heard continuously tonight. I did not want to follow Camila. But I'm excited to stand before you today to say that the classroom sizes have been phenomenal for my students, particularly watching Roger grow and being able to get the attention that he's needed from his teachers, but more importantly, to watch the inclusion model that is used at Sherman Thomas, where my son was able to meet his best friend in a classroom setting that otherwise probably would never have happened, most definitely when I was in school. And so it's been an honor and a privilege to be a part of this community. I love the extracurricular activities and electives that are being offered. It's allowed us to build an incredible partnership with the Madera Arts Council, who come several times a week to serve in our specials, and has actually opened the door for my children to get involved outside of school with what the Arts Council offers. So I would ask that you would continue your support of our school of choice. Thank you so much for the hours that each of you put in. And I know it goes unsung sometimes, but thank you so much for the consideration of Sherman Thomas Charter, and appreciate all of your guys' support.
Thank you. Thank you, Mrs. Elizondo. Seeing no one else come forward, I close public hearing at 7:51 PM. Action on the Sherman Thomas Elementary Charter School renewal application petition will be included in a future Madera Unified School District Board meeting. At this time, item number 12B1, present renewal petition for Sherman Thomas Charter School. Superintendent Lyle.
President Salazar, Clerk Mendoza, members of the board, and all that is assembled here in public and out on Zoom land, I'd like to invite Associate Superintendent Cheryl Sissel to the podium to present this item, and she's become quite an expert at all of this with some help from people in the room. Ms. Sissel?
Good evening, President Salazar, Clerk Mendoza, members of the board, Superintendent Lyle. I'm here tonight to present this item to provide a public hearing on the charter petition for the requested renewal of the Sherman Thomas Elementary Charter School Charter. Sherman Thomas Elementary School submitted its renewal request to the district on October 1st, 2024. The process for consideration and action on a renewal charter consists of the following: the charter school submitting a charter renewal petition, the district board holding a public hearing on the provisions of the renewal charter, at which time the board will consider the level of support for the renewal by district teachers, other district employees, and parents. District staff analyzing the renewal request against the standards for renewal set forth in the Charter Schools Act. District staff publishing its recommendations, including recommended findings, at least 15 days before the meeting at which the district board will act on the request. The district board taking action on the renewal request. At the meeting at which the district board acts on the request, the charter petitioner will be provided equivalent time and procedures to present evidence and testimony to respond to the staff recommendations and findings. During tonight's public hearing, the charter petitioner and the public have the opportunity to express their comments concerning the proposed charter school renewal. The district board may ask questions of district administration and charter representatives, but no action will be taken during this portion. Charter renewals are governed by the standards and criteria for charter schools and charters must update their charter to include a reasonably comprehensive description of any new laws since the charter was last approved or renewed. Also, as an additional criterion for renewal, charter schools are divided into high, middle, and low performing categories, or as a dashboard alternative status school, based on their performance on the California State Dashboard. The standards for renewal and the length of renewal term are determined based on the school's performance category. Sherman Thomas Elementary Charter School has been designated on the California Department of Education's list as a middle performing school for the purposes of this renewal. So what this means is they may only be renewed for a 5-year term. As a middle performing school, the district board is required to consider Sherman Thomas Elementary Charter School's school-wide performance on the state indicators on the dashboard, which looks at academic performance in ELA and math, English learner progress, chronic absenteeism, graduation rate, which does not apply to this particular renewal, suspension rate, and college and career readiness also does not apply to this particular renewal, as well as its performance on the local indicators, which includes basic services and conditions, teacher assignments, sufficient instructional materials, facilities, parent and family engagement, school climate, access to a broad course of study, and coordination of services for expelled youth and foster youth. Greater weight must be given to the school's performance on the academic indicators. The board must also consider clear and convincing evidence demonstrated by verified data showing either of the following: one, that the school achieved measurable increases in academic achievement defined by at least 1 year's progress for each year in school, or that the school has achieved strong post-secondary outcomes as defined by college enrollment persistence and completion rates either to similar peers. However, the board may deny a middle performing tier school on the basis of their academic performance criterion only if it makes written factual findings, set forth specific supporting facts that one, the school failed to meet or make sufficient progress toward meeting standards that provide a benefit to the pupils of the school, or two, that closure is in the best interest of the pupils. And three, the decision to deny provides greater weight to performance on academic measures. District staff will include these considerations in its analysis and recommendations on the renewal request. Sherman Thomas Elementary Charter School submitted its renewal petition, and it has been working cooperatively with the district, consistent with our longstanding partnership, which you've heard about this evening. It is therefore recommended that the Board of Education hold the public hearing regarding Sherman Thomas Charter School's renewal petition tonight. So now what I would do is invite the Executive Director, Tara Napier, up to the podium, and she will be presenting on some of the required information for you to consider for their charter renewal.
Good evening, board members. Some familiar faces, President Salazar, Clerk Mendoza, trustees, Superintendent Lyle, and the MUSD staff. First of all, I want to thank you. It has been my privilege to be at Sherman Thomas for 21 years. I often say that I've had the best job a working mom could have. I got to hire my kids' teachers. And I could truly say that there was never a teacher on campus that my child would not have been in. And I take that seriously. I grew up here in Madera. I've lived here my whole life. I will be at Arbor Vita someday. And it has just truly been a privilege. So thank you for being in the partnership with us. I'd also like to thank the community of Madera, who has opened their arms to Sherman Thomas Charter School and has really allowed, the first, I would say 6 years, it was like, what's a charter school? And I spent a lot of that. Now it's like, oh, Sherman Thomas. They still don't know what charter is, but they at least know who we are. And so I'm thankful for that. And especially the Sherman Thomas family who came tonight to step up and support. This is truly just a small representation of who this is. I wanted you to see our teachers who have become staff members, our former students who are bringing their kids here. I am officially educating the second generation, which is also scary, but I'm grateful for. I am Tara Napier. I am the Executive Director at Sherman Thomas Charter School, and we are here before you tonight, as you have heard, for a public hearing of the original charter school at Sherman Thomas, the T8K8 school, Sherman Thomas, and almost Sherman Thomas Charter School, which I will refer to mostly as Sherman Thomas. We have a hearing tonight and we will return to the board in January for a vote where we are asking you to approve a charter petition renewal of 5 years. I also know we are your first charter to come up in the renewal process in several years, and we are all learning the new process together as we ensure the new laws that have passed are implemented when it comes to renewal. Thank you so much for this opportunity that we have with our team tonight. In my mind, this was right there and I knew what I was looking at, so please forgive me as I go back there. Sherman Thomas has been here for 20 years. I have had the privilege of being the principal for about 18 of those 20 years, and then I moved into the executive director job approximately, it was during COVID, 22, 21, 19, all that. It feels like a blur to me. If you were there, you know, we have used core knowledge curriculum since our inception, and it is an amazing curriculum that scaffolds. And my favorite thing about it is, well, I have several, but mostly is it continues to teach reading in science and in history. You don't stop teaching reading when you move to a subject in the primary grades. One of my favorite things is in second grade, they start learning the Declaration of Independence, and they always write a Declaration of Independence from homework or the uniform policy or something like that. And I have to explain to them that they actually are in a dictatorship called public education, and that's not an option. But I love that children start learning that age about our government and our systems. In 2014, Sherman Thomas became a distinguished school, which was the first school in 9 years in Madera County to become a distinguished school at that time. And it was an honor to bring not only the hard work that my staff and our teachers and our students did to our community, but also to show what the amazing things that are happening in Madera. Sherman Thomas is now part of a network of 3 small schools, Sherman Thomas Charter STEM Academy and Sherman Thomas Charter High School, and we are so blessed to have it. Next slide. Okay. Here's a brief timeline of showing the major milestones for Sherman Thomas Charter Schools organization, going all the way back more than 2 decades. As you can see, we have been recognized several times for achieving student achievement. In addition, we are now in our 4th renewal cycle, and we were last renewed back in 2017. When I say it's been a while since anyone's done this, it truly has. And we are all learning this new process together. Sherman Thomas opened in 2003, and actually we were a K-6. That's a typo on my part with 165 students. Priscilla Munoz Ramirez was there at the ribbon cutting, and in 2006, we became the 700 Club. In 2009, we opened our high school. In 2010, we became part of the 800 Club. 2014, we became a distinguished school. 2015, we opened Sherman Thomas STEM Academy, and we have been renewed 4 times. Next slide. That's a little bit about us. And like all charter schools, they are mission-driven. We're focusing on improving student achievement, especially traditionally underserved students, and we are small by design. When we opened back in 2003, the students in that neighborhood, Madera Unified, was severely overcrowded. That's not the case 20 years later. You've done significant things, but at that time, the kids in the neighborhood had moved 3 times, 3 different schools in their K-6 life without having to move houses because of class size reduction and overcrowding. They were being bused from school to school to make balancing of class size reduction. And Sherman Thomas opened. So the wonderful thing about Sherman Thomas is it doesn't matter where you live in town. You get to continue to go to school there. It doesn't matter how many times your parents move, what house you go to. If your parents are and you're enrolled in Sherman Thomas, you get to continue to stay. Our mission and vision are on the screen aligned to the intent of the charter school law stated by 1992 that allowed charter schools to operate in California. Next slide, please. This slide shows our student population broke down by both race, ethnicity, and student groups. While most of the subgroups are comparable to the district county populations, we are working to enroll more English language learners. Going forward, we will continue to partner with district in monitoring our progress in this area. Next slide. This slide highlights a few programs that make Sherman Thomas so effective at supporting students. We are small by design, which allows us to focus on academic interventions, wraparound supports to ensure students learn in a safe, supportive environment. We are extremely proud of Sherman Thomas' full inclusion model for our special education students, as well as our intentional intervention systems designed to support students immediately to ensure no one falls behind. In addition, nearly 3/4 of Sherman Thomas students take advantage of our extended time we offer through our after-school program with ACES and ELOP funding. This allows students to spend more time in a safe, structured learning environment. Finally, our parents are vital to our school. We do not do this without them. They serve on our board, volunteer in our classrooms, attend events, and shape the decisions through our parent advisory council, surveys, LCAP. From back to school night to our campus beautification, their engagement fosters a strong, united community. We want to talk about our multi-tiered system of support programs and affirming our school culture. Our strong programs include all supports we provide to students and families. All of this that we have a full-time counselor, we have intervention teachers, small design classrooms are no longer larger than 26 students in grades 5 through 8. And in TK, well, TK is a whole different. In kindergarten through 3rd grade, we are no larger than 22 students. TK, we're at about 515. We will be up to 22 with those ratios in the next rollout of that. We are small by design. And with this, we have seen a 97.3 attendance rate and more than 20% reduction in chronic absenteeism since we've returned from the pause and in-person from COVID. Next one. The strongest indication of school effectiveness can be found in student achievement. These next 2 slides examine student growth, a key indicator that we monitor closely. Sherman Thomas uses NWA MAP to measure student growth. As the slide says, typical student growth for a school year on MAP is a CGI of -0.2 to 0.2. CGI stands for Conditional Growth Index, as noted on the bottom of the slide. As you can see, on average, all students' expected growth was exceeded at Sherman Thomas this past year, and we're excited about continuing this progress and going forward. In addition to looking in performance gaps or performance for all students, we're also view students by progress in their subgroups. This allows us for a more nuanced look at the data, and we are able to see how specific students and groups of students are performing. As shown on this slide, on average, most student groups are doing well and showing strong, consistent growth. However, as the slide shows, there's room for improvement with some subgroups, specifically English learners and math and students with disabilities. These are student groups Sherman Thomas is closely monitoring as we ensure that all are accessing all the support they are entitled to, along with the extra opportunities Sherman Thomas provides. We will continue to monitor the performance of these students, measure growth, take action as needed. These updates are reflected in our LCAP and our associated actions and expenditures. In closing, we want to highlight our community. We have been open in Madera for over 2 decades, but many of us have called Madera home for much longer than that. And we are fully invested in supporting this community and helping its students reach their potential. You've already heard from some of our students and families during public comment. And I am not going to be my father-in-law and keep talking. I'm going to try to not be the daughter of Corky Napier right now. And I just want to thank you for partnering with us and allowing me, like I said earlier, to have the best job a mom can have. Next slide. This is our last slide. As you can see, we are hoping for your support with a yes vote that approves our charter petition for the new 5-year term. I've been able to share quite a bit of information about our school tonight, and I will be here following, standing here for any board questions you might have. In addition, we'd like to invite all of you to see our program firsthand. I'm sure you would see the same things I get to witness every day, which is a tireless staff working with our students to ensure they learn and grow on their way to meeting their full potential. Thank you again for your time tonight, and I look forward to continuing this process.
Thank you. Trustees, do we have any questions for Sherman Thomas staff? Trustee Cortez?
No.
Thank you. Trustee Ahmad?
No question at this time.
Trustee Fleek?
No questions.
Clerk Mendoza?
Yeah, something real quick.
You should know it really well, though.
Yeah, I just wanted to comment, I read your petition from cover to cover, and it was pretty impressive, very thorough and stuff. And I also particularly like the school safety plan on there. You cover a lot of points that are very important to many of the parents.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you. And I will say, partnering with Officer Ramirez on that, and our staff has really made that. It's nice to have parents in law enforcement that can help make sure that we have all that access.
Definitely, and those resources you have to utilize. Thank you so much.
Especially when the county gets divided in your property and one side's the sheriff and one side's the city.
That could be frustrating, I'll tell you. Because it
What could
falls
possibly go wrong?
jurisdictional.
Never know.
Thank you for
Sure.
your presentation. The only question I have in the NWA map results on the subgroups, the ELs, 66%, 4 out of 6, 33%, 2 out of 6. And then there's the students with disabilities, 57.1% out of 4, 7, and so on. What are we doing to improve some of those details on these students?
Targeting intervention, especially for our English language learners and a teacher, is being pushed in to support them and targeting those specific skills that they're missing and areas based off their NWA maps that can give us a subset of scores that we can help assist them in.
Mhm.
With our special education students, obviously, we're working on monitoring. We have paraprofessionals in classrooms, we have after-school tutoring, and we're supporting as a whole team. But they also have the intervention teacher that pushes in, so the general education teacher at the same time can pull students, and they're doing 2 teachers at one time with paraprofessionals, breaking out and doing direct instruction.
How's their cultural climate in relation to the school district, the school?
You would have to ask them yourselves, but I would say from our surveys in that, it's very good. We have a pretty positive school culture. Also, to be honest, we have an open door policy, and I usually know if someone's not, they're happy. They come find me. I'm there all the time and around. Sometimes I like to hide, but our parents feel very comfortable and open and communicating with us.
Thank you for sharing.
Thank
Thank you so
you.
much. Thank you again. Thank you, Associate Superintendent Sisso and Executive Director Napier for the presentation. Now we move on to number 13, announcements. Superintendent Lyle, do you have any announcements for the board?
I actually have more than I wished I did this evening. I wanted to share with the trustees that Madera High School football team will host a CIF playoff on Friday, November 15th at 7 p.m. I believe it's at 7 p.m. I want to double check that. I think the playoffs are always 7 p.m. if I'm not mistaken. Our marching band regional championships will be Saturday, November 16th at Kingsburg High School. That is a really big deal. And if you're so inclined, that would be a great thing to go visit. The Leo's Shoe Drive will be at Alpha, Madison, Lincoln, and Dixieland on Monday, November 18th. Now, just as a quick recap, our Leo's Club is the junior version of the Lions, and they do an amazing job of raising funds. They buy brand new shoes and socks for little kids who need them, and they go and fit them. It is one of the more touching things you'll ever see in your life to see grown kids who've worked really hard to generate this level of charity turn around and actually make little kids' days with a brand new pair of shoes. And they are really nice shoes, and it's a really nice warm pair of socks. This is the right time of year for both. So thanks to the Leos Club. We also have the CIF Central Section Cross Country Championships on November 21st at Woodward Park. Madera High School has been the host of that event for a very long time, and we're hosting it yet again. So it's a really exciting opportunity to come and see the whole Central Section, and there's a whole lot of great programs there, and Madera Unified is very well represented. It's also Thanksgiving time of year, and we have a break scheduled from Monday, November 25th through November 29th. Take some days off. We're going to shut this place down if we can, and have people take a break from this life to go enjoy their personal lives. We also have the California League of Educators Awards ceremony on December 2nd at 5:30. Now, some of you have had the chance to go to that. It's a really fabulous occasion. It is at Fort Washington Country Club. It is a brilliant evening. You hear from some really inspiring educators, and here are our nominees. At Nishimoto Elementary School, Shauna Pedrosian. At Madera Technical Exploration Center, Andreas Garzon. At Mount Vista High School, Ms. Barbara Brown. And at Matilda Torres High School, Ms. Jennifer Mata. Those four will represent us in a series of dinners that celebrate each of the different levels. It is a really fun occasion. And you may remember that last year, Ms. Ochoa won that, went on to the state, and was the state teacher of the year. We also have Madera County Superintendent of Schools Leadership Association's session on, that's no big deal. That's just me, so never mind. And then on the 2024 CSBA conference will be held from December 5th through the 7th in Anaheim, and pre-conference sessions begin on the 4th. We think we have you all the way registered and set up for that, but let's make sure that if you don't know the answer, we double check before you leave with Maria. So that's coming up too before our next meeting. And that's always a very important occasion, especially with all the things happening with the state budget and national politics. It should be a very interesting opportunity for us to learn and see what's going on out there. Thank you.
Thank you, Superintendent Lyle. Item number 14A, fifth miscellaneous board member committee and information reports. Trustees, this is an opportunity for you to provide the board with a brief update on report from committee meetings and events you have attended. I start with Trustee Cortez.
Nothing to report, thank you.
Trustee Ahmad?
Yes, on October 24, I attended a Hall of Fame and Service with Pride Award. It was a great event, and I really loved that mariachi. It was good and good job. And well, I like to thank you, all the recipient, and for their service. That's all I have for them.
Thank you, Trustee Ahmad. Trustee Fleek?
Madera Unified had their service with Pride. PK had several adult graduations. With Halloween, Madera High School had their trunk and treat. CTE met, as did VAPA, and we still have continuing school site council meetings. November is National Native American Heritage Month, a time to recognize the history, culture, and achievements of Native Americans, Alaskan Natives, and Native Hawaiians. American Indians were the original inhabitants of the lands that are now the United States of America. I know as a tribal member, it is our hope from almost every Native person that we respect all people. Just about everyone that is in the United States had their families come to America from some other country. Embrace the diversity we all share. Be respectful, accepting, and understanding to everyone. That includes recent immigrants and those that have been here for years. One is not better than the other. This embracing and caring for others is what makes the United States of America strong. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Fleek, for sharing. Clerk Mendoza?
Yeah, I too attended the service with Pride Awards ceremony. That was excellent. And also attended a facilities meeting. The for an update of what's taking place today. That's it.
Thank you, Clerk Mendoza. As myself, I apologize. I missed a service award for personal reasons. I did attend the DLAC meeting. I did leave early because I was just exhausted. And then on the 28th, I attended facilities meeting with Clerk Mendoza, updating from executive staff of our different projects and how we're doing coming along. And I attended this weekend the Madera robotics team where our team won at the end, which was close. Thank God they did a rematch. And also, thanking the veterans yesterday for all their dedication. I have a lot of family members that have been veterans, and my daughter, herself and my oldest brother. But thank you so much. Moving on to item number 15, advanced planning. Our next board meeting will be December the 17th. And that is it for our meeting, and our meeting is adjourned at 8:17. Thank you and be safe driving home.